Hey everyone, I'm Klloo. Welcome back to some more Flesh and Blood. So, can you guess the deck we're building today? Yep, we're gonna tackle Fatherlord Ozai. And I actually got 4 of him. So I got 3 rainbow foils and then 1 normal cold foil. And it's a little saddening. Just a little bit of a gripe before we get into the deck building. Because there's 3 copies of him, if we compare him to someone else, Cheyenne, his value does not hold up. Obviously, the cold foil, marvel, or double-sided is worth something. The simple fact that he has, obviously, a rainbow foil version and a cold foil version, they're both far easier to pull than Cheyenne. He does not attract value, which is a bit sad, because it feels poor in a sense, because I've pulled 3 of him, I've opened... I think I've actually done really good. I think I've only opened 4 cases, and I've gotten 4 Emperors. I think I've gotten 6 or 7 legendaries. As odd as that sounds, two of the boxes were definitely double pulls, and one that makes me think that he has a hidden rarity. So he's outside of the normal legendary list, just to obviously make him playable and allow people to get it. The issue is, I find his ability, so action pay 3, search your deck for Command and Conquer, far better than Cheyenne's, and I think he could actually be a competitive Blitz deck, a very high tempo competitive Blitz deck, and that's the deck we want to build today. But there is good news. So I also did pull the Fabled Command and Conquer, which is good, kind of sad. So I couldn't find any online, well, look, close to me. There's obviously some online, but again, I'm here in Australia, I'm rural, and I want to buy from a reputable source. So I couldn't find any online, so I just cracked some of my unlimited Arcane Rising, along with Grasp of the Arcanite. Again, it's unlimited, so it's just rainbow foil. So I thought that was pretty decent. So yeah, so this is what we're going to build. We're going to build a beatdown Command and Conquer deck. I think what people sort of misattribute is his labels. So for instance, he's a warrior wizard, obviously draconic and royal, warrior and wizard being the 2 main things. And I think from what I've seen, at least, people trying to build him, they're taking a warrior archetype or a wizard archetype and then just putting Command and Conquer on, which I think is not how he should be built and what we're going to tackle today. I did have the idea to go through my collection folders and sort of pull out cards that way, because again, I do want to make a deck that I can actually construct and play locally if I get the chance. It's a bit far away from me. That's another story. So in saying that, that was the idea. I was going to go through my folders and actually pull out cards. That way I can make sure I have enough copies. I'm not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to use use FaB, if I'm saying that right. Essentially, it's an online deck builder that's linked to Teleshare, Felt Table, all the online resources you can play with. I've got it right here. So this is what we're going to use to build the deck, rather than actually go through my folders, unfortunately, because I don't have the space. I'm trying to figure out how I want to set it up. Right now, it's just a corner of my desk. Also, for anyone interested, because you know what they say, proof is in the pudding. Gold foil, if you can tell. Ooh, sort of. If I get the right angle. Gold foil, there we go. Gold foil, and then the 4th normal legendary was Spirit of Irina. So it makes me feel as though the cold foil slot is separate to the proposed 1 case legendary. So every 4 boxes or 1 sealed case, you meant to get at least 1 legendary rainbow foil, and then I would assume the rolls for the cold foil versions are separate. Just a little interesting tidbit. As for the deck, I've just gone about adding all the cards I think would be viable in the deck, as well as the different equipment setups. So obviously we have our hero, Emperor Dracai of Aesir. You may only have red cards in your deck. So the reason, again, I'm using Teleshare, their UI is just really, really good. Like, I didn't expect it to be this good. I thought you'd have to search up cards or go through sets, but it literally shows you every card available to your hero. It's really surprised me how much effort has been put into making this online deck builder. So we've got our 2 copies of Command and Conquer, and this is the big thing. This is our main damage. This is the only mechanic we're really doing. Yes, it's costing us 1 more to play it this way. But it's not a bad thing, because it's we get 4 cards in our hand, and we get that 5th card through our ability. And that's your card and your hand size is just such a big deal in Flesh and Blood. It feels really good to be able to increase it and cheat out things. So then, we need to build the entire deck around this mechanic, around our hero ability. Otherwise, there's no point in playing the hero. If you don't build your deck around the ability, what's the point? That's why I think Cheyenne is a lot weaker. Granted, yeah, you can play whatever specializations you want, but the specializations don't make a hero. It's this inbuilt mechanic, like Visari's ability to make Runechant tokens, or our ability to just play Command and Conquer whenever we want. Flamescale Furnace is the big one that I've seen used all throughout him. It's just the highest bang for your buck in terms of generating resources. So once per turn, instant, pay 1, gain as many resources as you have red cards in your pitch zone. So if we count it out, we have 4 cards in our hand. We're using 3 to play our hero ability, so that's 3 in our zone. We're using a 4th one to use this ability. So we have 4 in our zone, and we're paying 1. Through the Flamescale Furnace alone and the 4 cards in our hand, we can play Command and Conquer twice. On the first turn, we can technically blow through its entire charge. The issue is obviously action points and go again. So how do we combo into that? Well, we have stuff like time skippers. So if I could get 3 more resources somehow, then I would be able to use time skippers and get 2 action points and allow me to obviously use my hero ability twice and play Command and Conquer twice. And it would also allow me to use some of my other equipment, for instance, like Braces of Belief, destroy the braces, reveal the top card of your deck. If you do the next action card you play this turn gains damage, where X is 3 minus the pitch value. We know every card in our deck pitches for 1. So this is always a gain 2 damage, which is really good. Okay, so I think this is the first iteration of the deck I've settled on. So I'm going with the Kraken's Aether Vein route. So using this to draw and be able to pitch more cards to increase our Flamescale Furnace resource gain. And with that, we've comboed in a few wizard abilities. So this one at the start of turn, Destroy the Blessing. The next card you play this turn has Arcane Damage effect. Instead, it deals that much Arcane Damage to 3. So I'm curious about this, because this Kraken's Aether Vein, it wouldn't have draw a card for each Arcane Damage dealt this way if you weren't able to buff its ability. But see, to me, because it's already on the board, my mentality is you're not playing the card, you're activating its effect, but you're not playing the card. So all of the wizard abilities that I've been reading all have the same text. The next card you play gains X amount. So I have to try it out, obviously, to see if it does work that way. Otherwise, we have to redo it a bit. Other than that, Captain's cool. Mainly for its second effect, the next attack action card with cost 2 or less you play this turn gains go again, so we can use that to give our Command and Conquer go again. Cindering Foresight, this is another arcane damage buff just to make us draw more. Command and Conquer. Enlightened Strike, gains go again. So again, it's this concept of using 2 cards at the very least. So our first card still wants high to moderate damage, and then we use our hero ability to play Command and Conquer on top of that, to just try and beat down our opponent. The Ledger creates a gold token, a really good way to draw a card. Lead the Charge, it's another one that gets us an action point, so essentially we can use this, play a card that already has go again, like Enlightened Strike, and then use that action point to now, play Command and Conquer. Memorial Ground just lets us cycle back into our deck. Moon Wish and Sun Kiss is just a good way to draw a card while also gaining back HP, so seems good enough to me to include. It's probably the next thing that could probably be cut. Plunder Run, put down an arsenal and then draw a card. Read the Ripple, opt, but most importantly, draw a card. Essentially, I'm really looking for ways to draw cards. Sift, I think, is just a good way to cycle our hand. Granted, you obviously lose a card. The biggest mentality to have is essentially every card but Command and Conquer is first priority is pitching, second priority is defending. Other than that, then their abilities come into play, and I think if you have that mindset, it's a lot easier to build this deck and play this deck. Tome of Aether Wind, choose 2. So again, you can probably guess it. With the Kraken's Aether Vein, we can use the first effect, so we add 2 damage to it, and then we get to draw that. Otherwise, we can just use it as a 0 net 1 card, which seems insane in Flesh and Blood, to be honest. And Warmonger's Recital. If it hits, put it on the bottom of your deck, so just another way to recycle Command and Conquer. So, I'm really trying to make this deck work. It is just so inefficient. Like, the fact that You can only have red cards, so every card pitches for 1. So at least there's no mental math. You are trading 1 card for however many you need to spend. So for instance, your main ability to use Command and Conquer, you're using 3/4 of your hand to activate this ability. The 6 damage. 6 damage. Whereas, it's an eye-opener. I played a few quick games just trying to test out and see how it functions. I versed Dash, Bravo, both of them did. Dash was insane. Dash did, it's like 10 damage first round, then another 15, so I was easily done. Bravo, spend 1 card, 8 damage, and you're pitching the same thing just in blue, because you're getting 3. It's interesting. My angle somewhat works, so we'll hop into the training dummy. I can show you the mechanic I was trying to build around. So this is the equipment setup. Crown of Dominance for the gold token. Flamescale Furnace, this is our main way to actually generate resources. Brace of Belief for just extra damage. Would be probably decent as a finisher. Time Skippers, there is a combo for Time Skippers. We might be able to show it off. And then Kraken's Aether Vein to draw cards. This does not work. It is way too easy for your opponent to block 1 arcane damage, which means you don't draw a card and you've just wasted 3 cards as the Emperor, because obviously you can't pitch blue. It's not looking good. I either need to think up an OTK, a 1-turn kill, or just scrap it and go down a different route with him. I do want to play him. I think there's some interesting combinations between Wizard and Warrior, but as it is with just Command and Conquer, I don't think it can function smoothly just off of red cards. I understand that it's search your deck, Command and Conquer, attack with it is why it costs 3, because you can search your deck and you can pull it from anywhere. But the fact that it costs 3 with his limited red cards, I think works against it. I think he would still be well balanced if it only cost 1, because A, you don't get to go again. B, you're still pitching a card to search a card, so it's still 1 for 1. Even if it was 2, then it's still the same as playing Command and Conquer, which means it's not really an ability. The only thing you're paying for is a search. I just definitely think at 3, it's terrible, to be honest. 3 for 6 damage when you can't pitch anything higher. And I've looked through all the cards, every card accessible to the deck, and I can't see another way to generate resources outside of Flamescale Furnace. Even Flamescale Furnace is hard to pull off, because the general principle I was using was we use Kraken's Aether Vein. This allows us to pitch 3 straight away. We keep a 1-cost card, so Plunder Run or Phoenix Flame. We then draw a card, so now we can play Plunder Run. 0, so we get to play it, we get its buff, but now we can activate Flamescale Furnace. We pitch our other red card that we drew, and we get 4 resources. And this now means that I can activate our ability. So I've dumped my entire hand for 6 damage. Plus the arcane damage. And this only functions if I get that arcane damage. Because if I don't draw a card off of this, it doesn't work out. Because for Flamescale Furnace, we need to play a red card. Meaning, it's not really pay 1, gain X. It's pay 2, because we're losing a card to playing it, rather than being able to dump it onto our pitch pile and catapult our gain. The other combo I had was Time Skipper into our Tome. So if we put the Tome in our arsenal, we can Time Skipper for 3 action points, so we get our pile stacked up. We can then play the Tome, draw 2 cards back, and allow us to play Flamescale Furnace. This in itself is, again, not a good combo, because we can only use Command and Conquer once, unless we draw into the right cards. The ability just costs too much resources to make it worth it. Like, every other hero just has a far better gimmick. So I thought this was a decent mechanic, but the more I try it, the more I realize for 6 damage, dumping your hand is horrible. Like, maybe as a clencher at the end of the game, but then you have to ensure that Command and Conquer is at the bottom of your deck for this to function. So saving it for the end of the game is just as bad. I wish there was a way, because the other thing is we also have 15 HP, so we have less HP, meaning I can't just face tank and then try to burn down our opponent when they dump their hand. I just... No combination, no little tweaks can seem to make this work at 3 resources. It's just far too expensive. Like even... So like right now, our combo is stuffed. So ideally, you want a 0-cost card that has Go Again in your arsenal. We can't block, because if we block, then we have no cards to play our turn. And it's just this vicious cycle of we just can't output damage. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, is there anyone? No. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll play one game just to show it. Because I'm pretty sure just going through all the decks, all the card list, this is the best iteration of this style of play that I can possibly think of. It's just horrible because we can't do damage comparable to every other deck. So either we lean more into arcane damage, or we lean more into weapon damage. I've tacked on the draconic set of cards, so to speak. But activating this, like Tome of Firebrand, would really help us out. Being able to draw more cards is the biggest thing. If we could go positive on cards, then we could eventually build up, our resources and actually play functional turns and also be able to defend. The issue with this is it's 4 or more draconic chain links. Off of red, that is insanely hard because we can't cycle back and forth between Phoenix Flame because unlike FaB, we can't put it straight into our graveyard, which now I'm seeing the benefit of that ability. It's just there is no set of cards that I think makes this viable, unfortunately, which really sucks because I really wanted to. I thought he was cool. I'm gonna wait for a game and then we'll show off this train wreck. Okay, so here we go. We want to stick a card in our arsenal, so we want to go first. That's like the biggest aspect of this is we need those 5 cards. So yeah, so our first turn. We got a tome, which is good. That means we can use Time Skippers next turn. I can try and use Kraken's Aetherbane. The issue is it's just not going to do enough damage. So I think first off, I still want to play Command and Conquer. I can pitch 2 cards. I would kind of like to recycle it back into my deck with Memorial Ground. So I'd have to pitch the Tome. Phone is disconnected, waiting. I disconnected. Interesting. Anyway, so we'll play Command and Conquer. We'll pitch Memorial Ground and a Tome. Can't activate anything. See if we do some early damage. So they dump their hand, which doesn't matter because they get their hand back anyway, because it's the first round. So then there's nothing else for us to do because we don't want to pitch this card. We just have no card economy. We end our turn. Memorial Ground is worth more. Put the Tome into our arsenal, and now it's their turn. And here's where it really sucks because there's nothing we can really do. The only piece of equipment we can block with is Flamescale Furnace. Made Charge Your Soul. Yep, Charge Your Soul. So it's dealing 3. I'm going to block 2 damage. At least it's decent. Attack gains 2. That's fine. So they're dealing 5. And they're using their heal ability, so it does 6 rides or something like that. And they're attacking. So 3 again. Again, I don't want to block because I need the card economy. And we're down to 9 because we started at 15. So if we started at 20, at least we'd still be above 10. And it's somewhat feasible. Okay, so we want to play Time Skippers. So we need to play it. We're going to get rid of Reverberates and 2 Phoenix Flames, to be honest. So I would like to try and play Warmonger's Recital. So we got our 2 action points. We play our Tome. We grab 2 more cards. So we've got Captain's Call, which allows us to chain Command and Conquer. Granted, there's only 1 left in our deck, so that doesn't really matter. So at this point, we probably want to do Warmonger's Recital and try to get them to dump their hand. But see, at this point, it doesn't matter, because even if they block, they don't want to. There's really no point for them to actually block. Which, it just sucks. So anyway, we're playing Captain's Call. We'll grab the buff. We'll activate our Furnace. We'll pitch Rifting, so we gain 4. We can now use Warmonger's Recital. We might as well use our Braces. And we can use our ability, which is great. We do a whopping 13 damage. Lucky for us, their Arcanite Skullcap isn't procced because they're weaker. But see, here's the whole issue. Because now they're just going to dump their hand next turn, and because we've started at 15 HP compared to their 20, there's nothing in it for us. Like, they'd be... They're... okay, so I don't agree with their play, because realistically, they should be pushing. They should be pushing me. They have the health advantage now. They had the health advantage then, sorry. Like, there's nothing I can honestly do to come back from here. All our Command and Conquers are done. We've done 3 damage for it just from their defending. They've got 1 card, so at least we survive, and we should be winning the tug of war. But where do we go from here? I can play this to put Command and Conquer back into my deck, but then I still need to get the resources to use our ability, which is the big issue. Like, we play this, we pitch 1, we don't have enough cards. We kind of need to. This is where the gold comes in handy. So we play the gold, we can pitch. To be honest, we can't really play strategic planning. Yeah, I don't know. So at least our pile is full. That's the big thing. So we play strategic planning. We pitch lead the charge, I guess, or it doesn't really matter. Inflame, because we're pitching the other one next. We put Command and Conquer back. We play Flamescale Furnace. We pitch. We have 4, so we play Command and Conquer again. They defend like usual, but they're just so far ahead HP wise that there's nothing we can do. Like, even if they take 6, like, they've realized there is no point in them defending. They've won. Plunder Run is better. Lead the charge. Yeah, like that. Add Warmonger Recital. So, if they can deal 9, we lose. If they can deal anything, we kind of lose, because we obviously want to play the next Command and Conquer. So I don't know if swapping in, say, like a Arcanite Skullcap, the Crown of Dominance, and being able to defend a bit more, maybe the Time Skippers go and do something defensive in terms of their boots, but we essentially need to bait them into attacking, which only works if we had an advantage like health, which we don't. Like, we can play this, but then it's destroyed, and we can't use it next turn, which I don't want to do. So right now we're taking 3, so we might as well take the 3. Play your whatever. Like, oh, they're ending, which is nice. It's kind of frustrating. Because right now we play Warmonger's Recital, we pitch 1. We can't use Flamescale Furnace to get enough resource. Well, we'll try, we'll play it out. So we play Warmonger, we pitch Rifting because it costs the most. Pass. We kind of want to play Captain's Call, but at the same time we need the resources. So we need to pitch something, reverberate. We get 2, we can play Captain's Call. We buff again. And then we use our ability, pitch. Play our other Command and Conquer for 11. I mean, we win if they don't defend, so I guess we're gouging them into defending. Yeah, so they dump their hand, so now we're starting to have an advantage, but our Command and Conquer are gone. So where do we go from here? Like, we have Memorial Ground, which is great. It actually means I can cycle into Command and Conquer again. if I play it now, no. We want to play it on our turn so that we can trigger Flamescale Furnace. So we play Memorial Ground. Put a Command and Conqueror back. Flamescale Furnace gets us 1 if we use it right now, so there's no point. We just use our ability, I guess. So we play it, we pitch our 3, and we just continue to cycle through Command and Conquer. If we had 1 extra card, the Flamescale Furnace would come in handy. So if we had a proper way to generate gold tokens, but eventually they're just going to overcome us because of the health advantage. Like, everything would work if we just had 1 more way to generate a resource. They took 3, it's now their turn. Plunder Run, Phoenix Flame, then the thing. Luminari Ascension. I don't know the cards too well, so I'm just gonna let it play out. I guess I have time to read. Weapons control gain 1. If this hits, reveal the top card of the deck if it's a light card. They put a card in their arsenal. And then they're attacking for 4. So, we want to block, I guess. I should have do I have a Phoenix Flame in my graveyard? I don't, which sucks. So I did, then this would obviously be useful. So I really don't think we want to defend. We just want to pass. Take the 4. It's only 1, so it should be 5, right? No, it's still only 4. There's just something to do with there. Oh, they get to attack again. Right? I'm confused. The next weapon... Yeah, so I think they get to swing again. For this one, we have to defend, unfortunately. I guess we just do this. We just don't have enough manpower, so to speak. I guess I can play this turn safe and I can do strategic planning into Imperial Ledger and just, it's my turn to be defensive, I guess. So, strategic planning, pitch. I kind of want to keep lead the charge though. But if we're only having 1 Command and Conquer, there's no reason to try to cycle into it. But yeah, so our weapon has been largely useless this whole time. Definitely Command and Conquer. And then we're just playing Imperial Ledger. Passing. Where did I draw a card from? Strategic planning, didn't I? So we might as well put it in our pitch so we get 4. Granted, it's not a great card. Finds on Pride. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're just going to swing through with their weapon till they win. They're attacking. So we have to continue to play defensively, which sucks. Because I don't want to play defensively. We want to cycle into these 2 cards. They have a way to increase damage by 1. Damn it. So like now, there's nothing we can do. 4-2, so they win. I guess I should have over blocked it. I mean, okay, that wasn't as bad, but simply because we didn't get comboed out right away. It's our 15 HP pool that really sucks. Maybe I stack in the Sigil and was it Sunkiss, the 2 cards that let us regen, just a way to try and build up sustain. But from the outlook so far, I don't think the deck's gonna work. I'll try and work at it, and we'll come back. Or next time, I guess I will be building a different deck. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you did, if you stuck around, see you next time.